Going to do a video on the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl was yesterday. Um, Today is the 7th of February 2017, so it was yesterday, which is the 6th. And basically, I just want to say that the Super Bowl is just, it's bread and circuses. So, in the Roman times, they used to call the bread that they used to throw to the crowds. That's how they used to attract the crowds, because initially no one was interested. So everybody used to say, "Oh, well, you get free bread when you go to the not the Super Bowl, which is just the same. When you go to the Coliseum, all you've got to do is just watch the games." But then obviously, you know, humans, as we operate, we start to, even though it's blood and guts and fighting and stuff like that, naturally that's what we're designed to do. All throughout history, people have always fought with each other. So as soon as the men, and I don't know whether the women used to watch it, but there's a lot of oppression in them times on women and stuff. But as soon as the men started watching it, it's even more in the men's genetics than it is the women's genetics to fight and stuff. The Straight away they was hooked. So that piece of bread was basically like the bait, and then the hook was the Colosseum. And why was the Colosseum the hook? The Colosseum was the hook because it didn't benefit people in any way except for the free piece of bread. Now, if people would have only not been lazy and dedicated that time that they spent talking about the Colosseum, they spent watching the Colosseum, and they spent it on, trying to educate themselves, then they would have figured out other ways to make money, and they wouldn't only have just had the bread. They would have had the they would have had businesses, they would have had wealth, prosperity, instead of poor people just going to the Colosseum, being poor people and just watching, that and getting the free bread. So today it's even worse because they don't even need the dough to attract them. They don't even need that bread to actually get them hooked. People just go because it's like, it's just in our culture. We've already been hooked. Obviously, initially they would have used something like the dough to hook the people, but now they don't even need the dough. We actually go and spend our money, so we don't even get the entertainment for free. We're actually spending our money on the entertainment, which is not benefiting us. And it's like Aldous Huxley says in an interview that he gave, I think it was in like the 40s, he says, we're not only going to get the public to be our slaves, but we're going to get them to enjoy being our slaves. And once we've done that, then we won't be defeated. Well, that's at least what they thought. So that's what they've done. And the Super Bowl is just exactly the same as a Colosseum, and it's even worse now because we don't only have the Colosseum. You have multiple stadiums. You know, it's sort of like the way I picture it in my mind. It's sort of like, even though it's not this, even though the elites do believe stuff like this, it's basically like them stadiums. They don't look real, do they? They actually look like spaceships. So it's the way I'm connecting dots in my mind is it's literally like spaceships have landed all over Earth, because there's not just the one spaceship Colosseum. There's literally, they're in every city, and that is what's sucking the energy out of people. It's like I said before about the Colosseum, if they didn't spend the time, going to get the free bread, going to watch the entertainment, then they would have got into other stuff like educating themselves and finding out new ways to make money. And I can't remember who said it, but somebody once said that people perish for lack of knowledge. And how are you supposed to be knowledgeable about anything other than football and baseball and all that stuff if you're just brainwashed by it? So it's social engineering. They know that as soon as people start watching that sort of stuff, they're not going to benefit themselves. They're not going to say, hang on a minute, there's a technological elite that's trying to enslave us by multiple angles, and they're literally, doing it on a mass scale. It's been deployed worldwide. Not going to do that. What they're going to do is they're just going to, because it's not socially acceptable to say that. You're watching the football, you're not going to say, oh yeah, this is what the technocrats have deployed worldwide to take over our culture and enslave us so we don't ever break the chains of our servitude. No, because they've brainwashed us to say, David Beckham's taking a corner, or I think it's going to go in. I think it's not going to go in. I think Rooney will score another. We've been brainwashed, so I'm going to end that video there, and hopefully it'll help you to, start educating yourself.